Today I fucked up by trying to do the man thing. Today I fucked up by forgetting about last night's dinner. Literally just happened, still cleaning. Mistakes were made. As anyone with a penis knows, there is nothing more satisfying than being able to clean off a stuck piece of poo from the side of the toilet. It is a sign of dominance, of ingenuity, and the peak of laziness. I woke up this morning seeing such a stain, and was overjoyed with the thought that I would do my part to keep our household clean. I got into position, and ready, aim fire. Unfortunately, the offending mark was fighting back. As this was the first relief of the day, my tank was full, and I pushed to increase the pressure. Still, the stubborn fecal blemish went nowhere. I dug deep, and pushed for all I was worth. That poo was coming off whether it liked it or not. What I didn't know, is that the sushi I had last night for dinner apparently didn't agree with my stomach. As I was getting ready to unleash the torrent TM, my bowels decided this was the best time to start their own mass exodus. This horrible confluence of circumstances led to an explosion from both ends. Poo ended up all over my shower curtain, and the surprise caused me to miss the damn mark on the toilet. I am defeated. Too long didn't read. Tried peeing off a poo stain on the toilet, ended up with poo all over my shower curtain. Now to pee that poo off the shower curtains, yay. Lol, it looks like you're going to have a shit day. I think you should go back to bed, start the day over. If I wasn't already working from home, I would have just called in. That's just another challenge to accept, brother. Think I'm going to pass on this challenge and just use normal cleaning supplies. Well, better go and fill up on water then. It's going to take a lot of piss to clean that shower curtain. Shit happens, just not very often on a shower curtain. Today I fucked up and almost got sent home for having a high temperature. This happened this morning. I work on a big construction project. There are over 300 people working on any given day, and that's not including the trucks that are coming and going all day. The site is almost 2 kilometers long and almost 1 kilometer wide. So given the scale of this site, we have nurses set up at the entrance and screen for COVID before you enter the job site. The nurses check your temperature and ask you COVID questions to make sure you are good to work and enter for the day. Well, I live in Ontario, Canada, and the weather is getting colder now. So on my hour-long drive to work this morning, I had the heat going in my truck and had the vent pointing at my face to keep me warm, and normally I roll the window down before I approach the nurses, but today I didn't until the last minute and still kept the heat going. When the nurses checked my temp, it was too high. She then asked me to step out of the truck. I thought it was strange as it never happened before, and I didn't think about the vent burning me up the whole drive into work. I hopped out and she retook it and I was good. The other nurse then made a joke about me almost being sent home. So if you get COVID screened at work, don't blow hot air at your face on your way into work or you might get sent home. Too long didn't read. Don't point the heat from the vent in your vehicle at your face before getting your temperature checked. I literally did this on purpose to get time off, and I'll do it again next week. Taking your temperature doesn't completely make sense, because you could have it and have no symptoms at all. Plus, for situations like this where you just overheating can give a false reading. I was in Italy and they checked temperatures at the door of a restaurant. My parents both were fine, but as I was checked at the door, it kept giving error readouts. I always feel the heat easily, and having worn the raincoat and gone up and down stairs for a while, it was getting quite warm. That probably raised my temperature a bit and messed up the reading. Eventually it worked again and was let in, but that whole time you're just standing there with everyone looking at you, the more it doesn't work, and end up just getting hotter and more embarrassed from it. It makes sense because the alternative is taking absolutely no precautions. Like voting Biden because the alternative is Trump. I have a condition where my body doesn't tolerate gravity well and my blood falls to my feet. Usually makes me lightheaded, other times I pass out, but a big side effect that has never bothered me before the pandemic is low temperature readings on thermometers. I have to explain to the nurses at pharmacies and hospitals and stuff every single time that I'm scanning low because of that rather than a fever. I've had to argue with them just to get into my appointments before. My lowest so far is 33°C. I didn't have to argue on that one because I should have had hypothermia and quite obviously did not. Lamau. We get up to 14 days paid time off if you report having COVID symptoms with my employer. This is aside of any accumulated paid sick hours you may have or vacations or any PTO hours donated to you by your peers, etc. You may get tested and return if the test is negative and have gone at least 24 hours without symptoms. I had a cough, called to report my cough. I was tested negative but stayed home and was paid for the 2 weeks I took off. I did have a mild cold for the majority of that time though. My dog and I bonded very well. He had never had me home with him 24/7 for so long. A few other people have quarantined or taken just a few days to await results, and I feel comfortable knowing anyone can easily quarantine and not have to decide between taking the time they need to take care of their health and eye health as well, or paying their rent. I think we all realize how well the company has handled the situation for us, and I don't think anyone has abused the policy yet. I wish this was the standard for everyone out there though. We all deserve to be treated with common decency and compassion. I want to go work there. Our management seems to have their priorities right. Those temp guns are so stupid and inaccurate. It only reads surface temp, not your real temp. So if you're out in the cold it's gonna say you're colder than what the human body temp really is, SMH. I have a family member that works with IR daily, and they don't use the guns because it's nearly impossible to get your core temp with them. Today I fucked up from my butt eating not 1, but 2 sex toys. Hey. Well, this actually happened about 2 hours ago and I'm still mortified. I'm WFH and my partner came home early from work. Both doing our thing, the hours pass, and around 4 PM I want a little excitement and so seduce him. To surprise him for sexy times I insert a new butt plug, stainless steel, medium size, with a little red jeweled heart at the end. This pops in surprisingly well. Like enough I had to check it was there as I felt little to no discomfort. I'm a little disappointed as I thought it would give sexy sensations, but I guess that the addition of my partner will do the trick. We start fooling around, and to keep my secret longer I get him to go on top and I don't mention the plug. We've never used plugs before and I have never had more than one thing inserted, but I have had him in my butt once before, so the toy was a piece of cake. It is rather tight going as I am clenching fiercely. I can feel the plug slipping and I don't want to ruin my surprise. However, my partner is large and in so pushing in my plug is pushing out. I give up the ghost and let it go, relaxing, and attempt dirty talk, which I am terrible at, that he's so big my plug is gone, etc etc. He's surprised and excited and wants to try using it again, but we can't find it. It's lost in the sheets and we're in low lighting. Impatient I tell him to forget about that one and to just grab the also newly acquired dildo and get back here. Damn it, this was going so good. We used the dildo in the back door and it just gets slurped in. Like so fast that my partner is shocked and is worried I am hurt. He tries the in and out and it just stays in. Okay then. I shrug my shoulders and we get on with it. Nothing hurt overly much except that initial burn as expected. Post-coital we play tug of war with the dildo and after losing a few times is finally removed, but we can't find the plug. Like at all. Flip the mattress, ransack that pile of clothes in the dark corner that hasn't been touched in months. Inside the pillowcases, ask the cat, nothing. My partner is convinced it's in my butt and thus making its way through my colon. I'm equally convinced it's just dropped into a funny place. I was wrong. We make preparation to go to the ER as his research on internal bleeding and renal cancer is starting to freak me out. We are dressed and ready to go and I need to go, so I pop into the bathroom to pee, but some heavy flatulence later. Pops my butt plug with a solid plink. Easy in, easy out. I didn't even feel it. How did I have a butt plug, a dildo and a living dick inside my body and there was no discomfort? Is my butt a monster? I don't recognize this thing attached to me swallowing hordes of men and machine. I guess too much lube is a thing? I'm still concerned about the internal bleeding BTW. Too long didn't read. My hungry butt swallowed up my plug as an appetizer and tried my dildo as the entree, and my fear of an imminent and embarrassing death story blossoms. 3. Internal bleeding. Just watch your poop. If any part of it looks black or tar-like, be concerned, but otherwise you're fine. Unless you're actively leaking fresh blood, it won't be red, it'll be clotted, kind of like a scab, but moist. Sorry, I gagged reading this, but I genuinely appreciate the advice, thank you. Hopefully I don't update from a midnight ER visit. Jesus Christ, what did my virgin eyes just read? In the name of the Father. Well, as long as you came. Doesn't matter, had sex? You need to chain it to a hubcap like the bathroom key at a gas station and let her rip like Beyblades. Been there, done that, with the same plug type. In the future, don't use any anal insertable unless the base is significantly wider than the widest point of the insertable part. Good to know, thanks. Sincerely, I'm a little annoyed. BC, it was a training kit, but I guess that's different than a plug for use? I don't know.